You want to talk sports. You want to talk basketball, football, baseball, wrestling, UFC, boxing. You want to talk sports. You want to talk music. You want to talk hip-hop. Real hip-hop. Classic hip-hop. The history and the culture of hip-hop. And you want to talk candidly. You want to hear the real. You want us to keep it 100. You are in the right place. Welcome to the Candid Coach. Starring your man Coach Bar and your man Mr. Willis. Bringing it to you real, bringing it to you right. Sit back, strap in, comment, get busy, baby. It's the Candid Coach.
Yo.
What's good, people?
What is happening, party people in the building? It's your main man, Coach Fa.
And your brother, Mr. Lewis. How y'all doing out there this evening?
We hope y'all doing it big and doing it lovely. Thank y'all once again for tuning in. We truly appreciate it.
Yes, welcome.
We hope to have a really, really good and fun show for you guys tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
We've got, from the New York Post, we've got Marc Berman coming in a little bit to talk to us about Knicks training camp.
Yes, sir.
And we've got my main man, Kool Kim, a.k.a. NYOil, talking about, his life in hip-hop and, most importantly, his life after hip-hop. The dude's got podcasts now. He's doing a bunch of wonderful things. You know what I mean? It's real fun. It's real big. I'm excited. I hope you're excited.
Absolutely.
Rock him in the back of the ground. Yes, the back of the ground. I've said it. You know why I said it? This week is sponsored by, not really, Appleton. The signature estate. Yeah, boy, the Jamaican rum is good. Anyway, anyhow, we will be right back with some more wonderful Candid Corner right on after this quick message.
Do you know someone with kids? Do you hate that person? Get the Frozen Songbook and Recorder. The kids will love it, and the parents will never speak to you again. Win-win.
Hilarious.
Them things noisy is, man.
If they got a sibling, get them a drum set so they can give them back up.
Yo, you want folk to move, give them that. The neighbors will move them out of that neighborhood. Let's hit y'all with a bit of that headline. Heat. Okay. Alright, so alright, so big shouts to MSG. Monica McNutt now. I was watching what was it? MSG Now, the morning show. I believe that's the name. I'm not sure if I get it wrong. I apologize. It's still a hot show. I really enjoyed it. They had Anson on, and Anson was a brother who Anson Carter, man, he was a hockey legend. You know what I mean? And a brother is crazy. I was like, oh, is that we do play hockey? Wow. But real talk, he was talking about a program specifically that they were doing up in Harlem. And I was like, Harlem? Word? And it's actually called Ice Hockey in Harlem. That's the name of the program. And I was like, okay, yeah, they bringing ice hockey to the hood. I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, I just found I dig that. I like that a lot. I like that idea, and reaching out to giving kids something that's different. But, listen, hockey jerseys is hot. I'm sorry. They're having a conversation about that as well, and I agree. Hockey jerseys, and you could wear those almost any time except like in the hot summer. but hockey jerseys be flavor. Them big old logos and stuff. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Them joints be funky. What you got, man?
Sure. Well, I was going to add to something what you were saying about black hockey players, but I can't
What?
find it. So, moving along. Um,
I feel you.
yeah. Just wanted to say, well, shout out to my Steelers. Even though we accrued our first loss of the season, we still doing our thing. And big up to Ryan Connor. He's going to be back. He's off of the COVID injured reserve list, and so he's going to be on the field playing. But also, a get healthy soon. Shout out to Hayden for he's on concussion protocol still.
Yeah,
He's
man.
dropping practice yet. There's
He
not a
caught
guarantee he will play.
he caught a hard hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the game, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Yo, I saw this. I know you saw this too, and this was a little bit in the making, but I'm proud to announce that breaking is now an Olympic event, yo.
Yeah, man.
Hip hop, bang bang, baby.
They've been teasing us for almost 30 years about it, so now
Really?
it's finally official. That's
Really?
a great thing. Shout out to Crazy Legs too.
Yo, he put in so much work and effort on this, man. Bravo,
Yeah.
bravo.
Big up.
For real. So, what else? See, I'm tempted not to go there, but I kind of have to because listen. And I was gonna write an article for the site, but I paused on it. It felt a little bit too going after certain people, and that's not necessarily the point. So I got to kind of back out of that and figure out not a nicer way, but just a different approach. I'll
A
say
more candid way.
no less. Trust me, that's the problem. So, but this James Harden thing is kind of, you know. I mean, you're not in the NFL. We're going to Cabo and trying to force your way out of a contract or something to get a better contract. I don't understand why you was at the strip and you did a tour of clubs.
A tour of booty.
Yeah. Yes. The whole train. Was that Wrestler the Godfather? Yeah. Yeah, Harden was the Godfather like this past week. And then he show up late, like days and days late to camp, and it's like his coach every day. He hasn't reported to us, but you know he knows to be here. He hasn't reported to us, no, not yet, but he knows to be here. Day 4. Oh, he hasn't reported it to us, but you know he's okay. We know that, and he'll be coming. Sad. And if first of all, you got like 2 years left in your contract. You can't go nowhere. Understand that. You know what I mean? The thing that AD did is not what to do, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't do that. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say a couple of things to add to that. I remember him mentioning something about wanting to come to Philly and acting like that, like, we don't want you. We don't want you over here because, I mean, if the minute you don't get your way, you're going to throw a tantrum and start acting crazy, then, yeah, the fans in Philly will eat you alive, brother.
Yes, they will. And, I mean, end of the day, it to me, it's another motif of I want to go where there's a lot more help because I can't do it by myself and I can't do it with a secondary good player. I need to be, and I'll be fine being the third of the 3, but I need help. They all need so much help. They need help. They need more people.
Yeah, I thought, once they got rid of Westbrook, he'd be happy, but I guess not.
No, I don't think Westbrook was the problem.
I thought he was part of the problem. Because initially when they said Westbrook was going to Houston, I didn't see that working. But I figured they would change my mind, I guess.
And it is what it is. So, but my thing is, that's your team. You got the contract with him. You spent the money, right?
Yeah.
You
You gotta
spent the
be a
money.
professional.
Yeah,
You gotta
exactly.
do it, yeah.
Exactly. And talk to your organization and hope that they listen and actually wrap you around some people that could do some things.
Yeah.
You got to give them a chance. But again, if not, free agency, restricted free agency, something. You got to wait till you have some kind of bargaining chip. You have no
Exactly.
bargaining chip. And if they do trade you, you need to go to Cleveland. Because at the end of the day, they don't have to trade you to a contender
Not at all.
at all. They need to get, for your talents, they need to get the best package possible. And if that's Sacramento,
Yeah.
enjoy the Kings.
Hey, word.
You know what I mean? Have at that. Because that's literally it. And to me, that just doesn't make sense, man. But it is what it is. I wash my hands. All right, you got anything else for the headlines?
Just be sure to check out this official Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul
Yep,
for the
yep.
exhibition, February 21st next year. I guess they're gonna get it out the way so we can get back to real boxing, y'all. And
Well,
what up?
nah, I mean, because like real boxing just happened to Earl Spence just had a fight. You know what I mean? There's real fights, man. I think this is just some fun nonsense
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that's
It's
going
like,
off to the side.
we got the real stuff going on. This is a little fun entertainment. Now let's get back to the professionalism.
Right, that's that nonsense, that pandemic stuff. But yeah.
It's like, what, this is boxing versus?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited. Mr. Marc Berman is in the building. We're going to hit you off with a quick commercial break. And when we return, we're going to talk Knicks training camp with Marc Berman. Annabella Scents, a wonderful fragrance of candles and melted wax coming straight out of a wonderful company from Lawton, Oklahoma. Man, if y'all want your house to smell wonderful, come try this scent. Check it out. I did. Oh, wata. Get your kicking jeans. Only $19.95. Known for don't bind your legs. The secret is the flexi stitch crotch area. Don't you get caught in no rumble without your kicking jeans. Only $19.95. What the?
Yeah, my birthday coming up. I'm gonna have to give me a couple pair of them kicking jeans.
Indeed, man. Especially because that crotch area. You need that space when you're kicking in the face.
Who knew you could lace up the crotch?
All right, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Marc Berman.
Hey, guys.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming. I truly appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. It's first time, long time.
Roll right on, man. How you doing tonight?
Good. I mean, 2 more days, and the Knicks will be in Detroit. Reporters, none of the beat writers are going to be making this trip.
I hear.
Going to be covering it, very unfortunately, from TV and doing Zoom calls. And even Mike Breen and Walt Frazier.
They're going to be remote, right?
Yeah, they'll be calling the game from MSG Studio. Rebecca Harlow won't be on hand either. It's going to be interesting. Listen, I think the Nets broadcasters during the bubble, like Ian Eagle, I think they broadcast from the Barclays Center, the Orlando game. So,
right.
But Mike Breen was there in Orlando for ESPN and ABC. So this is his first experience calling the Knicks from a studio.
How are you guys with all this as far as the journalist side of the house? People don't really get into y'all, what you guys do in the background and everything. We all just yell at you on Twitter and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I mean,
how are you guys handling it?
it's very difficult. So we're not right now. We're not allowed in Tarrytown. So usually training camp, we see the final 20 minutes, 25 minutes of practice, which
Right,
usually is the scrimmages. And that's when we see who's on the first team, who's on the second team, who's shooting well, who's not playing
right,
defense. And we tweet it and write about it. And
right,
now we have to rely on Thibodeau and some of his morsels, not a lot. We're
right.
trying to get more out of them. And we get 2 players a day on Zoom, and we get Thibodeau, and it's a challenge. And like we're not even able to ask follow-up questions because you ask a question and then you get muted.
Right.
We're doing the best we can, but I'm just hoping as the season goes on into January and maybe February, I'm still debating. I'm hoping to go to Indiana for the season opener,
Okay.
but we're still waiting word on if like how many reporters are allowed in the building. It's
Gotcha.
really, I mean, this is unprecedented, obviously.
Really, really, really.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing a great job, so we appreciate it. And us juniors, we respect your grind and respect your hustle.
I appreciate that.
And
Yeah, we're doing our best, but I mean, I guess you guys could see the Zoom calls. I think they
yeah,
post them
they
on
post
YouTube.
those.
So,
But I think you guys are you guys are the ones asking the questions, so you're right there. You get it first.
right, but again, when we're live, like next to the player, it's a different rapport. Again, you could
True.
ask follow-up questions. It's less formal.
Right.
You get more out of it. But listen, these guys are doing a pretty good job on Zoom. I mean, everyone's getting used to the Zoom things. So,
Right.
and hopefully it will get better. But again, never experienced anything like this.
Unprecedented, as you said. It's definitely a challenge. So, speaking of challenges, what are you hearing and seeing coming out of the second week of training camp?
Well, we know that Kevin Knox is upping his game, not only on the offensive end, but he's really focused on defense. That's all Thibodeau
Good.
really cared about was getting him to play with a motor on defense and with a focus and not making mistakes. But he's also playing smarter offensively, and you've probably seen the quotes that
Yes.
Tom Thibodeau, he works so hard. He watched like probably every single game last season on tape. And what he noticed is, he said on the Zoom calls that Kevin was pressing, he was forcing bad shots.
Right.
But last season, when it was a catch and shoot, open shot, he'd usually make them. And he's got to get in that mode where he's not forcing shots and he's just taking good shots. He doesn't have to launch 20 shots a game, and he'll get his percentage up. I mean, he's been shooting under 40%, his first couple of years in the league.
That's true.
So there's so much promise with Kevin Knox. I honestly, if you remember that very first summer league in
Yes.
Las Vegas as a rookie,
Yes. Yes.
talking to the scouts around the gym in Las Vegas, everyone was saying off the record, this guy looks like he's going to be an all-star.
Yep.
So, they got Kenny Payne now working with him again. So there's a lot of hope that Kevin could really turn it around. They really hurt his confidence last year.
Yes. Yes.
DeMarcus Morris did a great job, but he stole all the minutes away from Kevin Knox. And then when Marcus got traded, I thought for sure Kevin would get a big opportunity.
And he
Mike
didn't.
Miller, Mike Miller wanted to win games.
Ex-
Reggie Bullock
Exactly.
was getting those minutes, and
Trying to save his job.
Kevin was very disappointed. He really was, and it didn't work.
Right. Right. So, what are you hearing about Mitch?
Yeah, well, as you know, he's now on to his 6th agent.
Yeah, be
And
candid. Come on, be candid. That's what we're here for. No.
Well, I mean, it's insane. President also. Yeah. So to fire Rich Paul, I mean, he's one of the great agents, and LeBron and Anthony Davis, and he's getting stars left and right. And to
Right.
not believe in Rich Paul was a stunner. Now he is going to a high-powered agency in Wasserman, and he's got Thad Foucher, who represents Russell Westbrook. It's Arn
Mm.
Tellum's former
On
uh,
tell him. Right.
yeah.
On tell him.
But so he's going to a nice agency, but Rich Paul's very disappointed. And Rich Paul really thought he could help him become more mature because, listen, he's an immature kid right now. He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
You know, he dropped out of Western Kentucky.
I remember.
You know, spent the year before the draft just training with his high school friends. And listen, I know that the Knicks were disappointed that he didn't come earlier to the facility to work with the coaches. He came pretty late. And listen, he hasn't been smart enough on the court defensively. He's a great shot blocker. He's just got that knack. Very athletic on the defensive end. But Thibodeau thinks that there's so much room to improve there because he's out of position a lot. He commits a lot of bad fouls. So this will show what a great coach Thibodeau can be if he turns Mitchell into a real all-around stud. Because on the offensive end, he's never going to be a very good shooter, but those alley-oops and
Exactly.
the
Putbacks. Yep.
terrific. I mean, it's just there's few players in the league that have that knack also. So,
Agreed.
I don't know if he's going to start. I mean, Nerlens Noel had an excellent season last year, quietly for Oklahoma City. So
You know what, though? Quietly, non-starting might be the thing that matures him the most.
it could be again, but you know, he knows his contract situation is a little bit up in the air.
That's true, too.
And he didn't start last year. Taj Gibson started. So he thinks he's ready to start. And last year he was very good about it. Mitchell was always like, I don't mind coming off the bench. One of the rare guys who sees, he doesn't mind coming off the bench. He sees the game, he gets a feel for it, and then he enters.
He's able to impact it.
You know, Kevin Knox could not handle coming off the bench.
Right.
But this year he says he wants to start. And I think it has a lot to do with his contract.
And that's fair. He has to show his worth, so to speak, so that he can get the commensurate money for it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a team option for just $1.8 million next season, so he's been underpaid his whole career.
Right.
And if he has a nice season this year, the Knicks have to do good by him and maybe rip up the contract and give him a fresh, new, deal that is almost market value.
I hear that. All right, so just a couple more because I know you're busy and with everything going on. Let's go Dennis Smith.
It's listen, I know they were trying to trade him all off season. Okay. No trade value whatsoever.
Right. He really didn't show anything last year.
Well, nothing. And now Thibodeau, he paid him a visit. You know, when the Knicks went out to work out Cairo Lewis down in Miami, Thibodeau then took a visit to Dennis Smith in Carolina. And Thibodeau, he's got that point guard whisperer reputation. So he's trying to resuscitate this guy's career and giving him a big opportunity. Austin Rivers hasn't really practiced because of a pulled groin.
Right.
Dennis is getting a lot of reps with the first team. Who knows who's the starting point guard Friday night in Detroit? It's either Alfred or Dennis. Looks like Frank's playing off the ball.
Okay.
Dennis seems to be shooting the ball better from the outside. He worked with Abdul
Raul. Yes, sir.
And, he couldn't, hit the side of a barn last season from the outside. So he's getting confidence. Thibodeau talked about Dennis today and said he's playing with more confidence in shooting and conducting the offense, things that he did not show at all last season. So, and when he talks about we have a lot of athleticism and we want to take advantage of that athleticism, that's a little bit of a code for maybe having Dennis Smith
running
more
the point.
Part of the action this season.
Okay. Well, it's so good for him because, again, he was a top lottery pick. So that's more good things for us, so to speak.
Right. Number 9, who's picked 9. I remember talking to the NC State coach and throwing out comparisons like this guy has athleticism like Russell Westbrook. I mean,
Right.
that's the type of hype he came in with. But he played for a terrible North Carolina State team. The rap was he sort of had bad body language. But
And that we did end up seeing.
right. But there's still a lot there. There's a lot
Yeah,
of talent there.
I agree. Okay, so here's the scuttlebutt. Are they keeping Randall?
Well, let's see what Obi looks like in preseason because there's a lot of hype, and we've written about the conditioning record that he
Mm-hmm.
set in training camp. He ran those drills up and down the court 10 times and posted the fastest time. He's
Right.
in tremendous shape. But Thibodeau has made some references about, Obi not having summer league. It's a challenge for him. So I think defensively, he's still trying to pick up the scheme, and he's never
Gotcha.
been a defender. Cleveland, we've reported, passed on him at number 5 because they weren't sold on him as a two-way player.
Gotcha.
And Cleveland had a terrible defense the last 2 years. They picked the defensive guy in Okoro.
Mm-hmm.
So if Toppin shows that he could play rotation minutes, heavy rotation minutes, I mean, he's really a 4. He's a power forward. He's
Definitely.
position. We'll
Definitely.
probably see Julius Randle heavily on the trade block if Obi shows that he's ready.
Okay. And if not, we keep Randall, and he plays that while Obi learns, and we still hopefully win games.
Right, exactly. And maybe it's not the worst thing not to rush Obi, bring him off the bench 18, 20
Exactly.
minutes a night. But again, everyone has said he's the most ready-made rookie at 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was a redshirt freshman, and he's got a good body, so we'll see. But right now, Randall, he's got the edge, obviously, as a veteran. But if Obi shows a lot, then we'll probably see Randall traded at some point.
I hear that. Well, hey, Mark, thank you very much for your time this night. I really, really appreciate it. And we hope to hear from you some more and get some more of your great updates and our little debates on Twitter.
I really appreciate it, Rod. You guys are great, and you keep the ball rolling. I mean, the Knicks fans are just amazing. I mean, there's so many Knicks fans that have kept loyal during this horrible 7 years. And we'll see this year. If the Knicks are very bad and the Nets are 12-2, are they going to steal any Knicks fans? I don't think so. The Knicks fans are so loyal.
We don't do that. That's not who we are.
I know. I thought the move to Brooklyn would change something. It's changed nothing. I don't see their fan base any larger. But we'll see. Listen, we'll see if the Nets are 13-1.
Well, they're gonna get fans. They're gonna get bandwagoners,
right?
But they won't last. Right. Yeah, exactly. But they don't last. As soon as they start losing, all of a sudden they trickle away and start wearing Laker jerseys and stuff like that.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Berman, New York Post. Take care, man. Happy holidays.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Very informative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Honestly, Mark and I, we have gone at it a little bit on Twitter, and my Twitter heads is like, "Hey, man, don't be cussing out Mark on TV." Oh. And I'm like, nah, never that. So, but we've gone back and forth a couple of times. But again, at the end of the day, it's his job to report what he sees, and it's my job to bring it to the people. So, listen, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I hope you're enjoying the show so far.
Yes,
we got plenty more coming up. I'm very excited. We got Kool Kim. He's going to pop up in the building in just a few moments after this wonderful commercial break.
Happy holidays to y'all. And just in time for the new New York Knicks season, Walt Clyde Frazier presents the new Spotify mixtape, All His Greatest Hits, featuring everyone's favorite swishing and dishing. Let's not forget Precocious Neophyte. Yeah, that's a banger. Oh, y'all remember Boundin' and Astoundin'? What? That used to get the parties lit, yo. But my personal favorite was Movin' and Groovin'. I can't wait to hear that this season. And of course, the platinum, triple platinum, diamond selling record, Posting and Toasting. Man, you better download this Walt Clyde Frazier. If y'all don't know, you better know. Sponsored by Cow Clothing and Hoof Shoes everywhere. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks.
Yeah, I heard now if you get a free download if you buy some Duke Sporting Waves.
I wanted to tag on to that, but that was hilarious. With the do-rag kit and everything. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands. I said, put your hands. Put your hands together for my brother, the NY, the oil, the Kool, the Kim in the building. What is happening?
How y'all feeling, man?
How you feeling, brother? Happy holidays to you.
Man. Likewise, same to y'all, brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? I was curious to know though. I don't know if my people arranged it with y'all before I would appear on this show, but will I be getting my, Clyde Frazier joint as well, or is it like, because I sent in 2 box tops from my quiz cereal and.
You know what? You check your spam because you should have got the email. You should have got the download bit. So check your spam. I just want to
make sure, man, because that's a big deal for me, my dude. That's a collector's issue. I want to, I gotta put it next to my Kirby Plunkett best hits. And
you got that too? Oh man!
I got the autographed copy, son. What are you talking about?
Yo, I got the Mookie Wilson Buck Rogers jersey. Yeah.
Feature. What's my son's name? You should go beady. You gotta have the one.
Oh, no, you know this. Yo, so what's going on, Kool Kim, man? How are you, sir?
I'm feeling great, man. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying my day, enjoying the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? It's just a happy pandemic to everybody.
Big party.
Just enjoying myself, man. Relaxing, building up my new podcast, Build Sessions.
I hear that. Yes, I've seen it.
The hip hop. Yeah.
All right.
So before we jump into the new, the dawn, the rebirth, the phoenix coming out of the ashes, we got to go back to this just a little bit. We're gonna go back just a little bit because Blue Cheese was hot. You had a couple of hot records on there, and my man, I used to do music back in Teaneck, New Jersey.
All right.
And I was in a studio by my main man, Nick Wiz.
Okay.
And he had your poster up in there and it was signed.
What?
Yeah, man. And I used to see that when I used to go and I would record. So it was like y'all was always kind of in the back of my mind and in the presence when I was doing my thing. So big shouts.
Oh, that's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nick Wiz, you know what I'm saying, for having the post up, you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed.
That's a big deal.
So how was that Fruits of Nature, man? Coming straight from Staten Island, the island.
Yeah,
Stapleton.
No. House was from Stapleton. I was from St. George.
St. George, okay.
Yeah, they're different, you know what I'm saying? It was both originally from Brooklyn, both born in Brooklyn, but we Staten Islanders about, the heart, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
most of what we did great, we did on Staten Island. So, we claiming the island on that regard, you know what I mean?
Respect due.
Yeah. And of course, Future Nature. That was our first album. My actual first single was on this album called Rough Luxury. Rough Luxury Records presents the Rough House Orchestra, and it was a label out of the Bronx. And
Okay.
Oh, let me ask you a question, real quick. Before
Yeah, brother.
just this little sidebar, real quick.
Yeah,
How's
yeah.
my vocal sound, man? My vocal
You
sound
sound
cool when I'm
great.
on the radio.
Yeah, you sound great.
It sounds
You
tight,
sound
right?
great. Yeah,
Got my
man.
Barry White shit going on. I'm gonna drop my voice.
I feel you, brother. We jamming.
Ladies are listening. You know what I'm saying?
Well.
No, I'm gonna tell you why though, cause I went and copped this Rodecaster Pro. Rodecaster Plus. Or
Okay.
whatever the shit, Rodecaster Pro joint. So my podcast would be dope. And you know what I'm saying? Got my mics and all set up. And I'm like, yo, this better sound dope, man, because it's all little money I spent. I ain't got no money for this. I'm waiting for the stimulus check to clear. But
the bass is clear. It's a very good mic.
Oh, excellent, fantastic. So back to it though. You know what I'm saying? We I met Son on the Statue of Liberty, man. We used to work at Statue of Liberty together. Method Man used to work there as well.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, you guys used to work there. So if you ever watched that Wu-Tang American Saga,
yeah,
yes, sir.
Those scenes where they're talking about like when they're in the Statue of Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
I'm there in those scenes. You know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like we're there. So in fact, there's that you got to keep in mind that's not factual. So a lot of stuff that they did is like kind of bounced and flipped, but that remember that when they had that contest that they was at?
Yes, the battle.
Yeah, I was in that contest. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. That was an absolute terrible performance for me that night. Somebody actually threw a piece of gum at me. I ain't even know.
It's all right. It happens.
In those days, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Bro, if I can, this should make you feel a little bit better. I'm out in Teaneck, right? Yeah. And we doing shows at this VFW joint right over by Cedar Lane.
Okay.
And all my dudes, Shabam Sadiq, you know what I mean? All of them, Reef, the whole crew, they were all performing, and they all got on earlier than me. They all rock the house and everything. Now it's my turn. This instrumental record, one of them, Tony D joints of his mixtape record, the instrumental record he came out with back in the day. Okay. I threw my cut on. I come out. I'm starting to rock to the crowd. All of a sudden, I see in the back of the daggone building, Son Sister Girl spits out a razor, slashes a dude, fight breaks out. They bring the bloody dude up on stage and sit him down on the chair next to me while I'm trying to
Wow.
True story. Riot breaks out right in the beginning of my set, man. Never got a chance to.
There's no way you're gonna top that.
No, it's done. It's done. I just kind of put the mic down and walk.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I can top that though. You know what I'm saying? I might got a couple that's more even off the wall than that. But fortunately, we didn't have too many crazy things go on. Like what I mean? We didn't. It was fortunate because I think at the time we didn't realize it and embrace it fully. And so in retrospect, I kind of regret, if you want to say that, the lack of understanding. But what I had come to find as I grew older is how much people, just liked us as like almost like we was like to some people like little brothers, and the other people we was like, we was those dudes that gave them the freedom to be different.
Yeah, just the cool kids.
Yeah, and at the time, between hip hop media and stuff like that, they was selling it like, if you was doing anything other than trying to be all thugged out, that you was a happy rapper or you was soft.
I remember that. And y'all, Dayla, a bunch of folk went through that.
Yeah, and that was, I wouldn't say there's nothing further from the truth because I would say, I ain't grow up like that to be doing all that carrying on. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't where my energies was at. But we wasn't soft, like we wasn't weak. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so a lot of cats caught a bad one.
Step to me, exactly. I will punch you in the face.
You know, a couple of cats that never want to admit it, but they, you know, got the distinction of being, you know, got washed by the UMCs. Like, yo, the
And there you
UMCs
go.
dudes beat you up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
with your little tough guy talk.
yeah, you know, and you know, but I would say this: 99.9% of our experiences. No, that's not accurate. 90% of our experience
Fair.
were non-violent. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't really,
Understood.
you know, mostly people treated us nice. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time we was in Virginia, man. We did a show, and man, these dudes was using straight. You could tell this was the drug dealer showcase. Like they, you know,
Gotcha.
they put it on. They had us come down. You know what I mean? They wanted their peoples to perform when we was perform. You know, like that whole thing.
Right.
And you know, there was this one dude in a wheelchair, man. I think it was his birthday that night too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, for some reason, man, it really somehow or another that particular night was stuck with me for years, you know, doing that show, because that was when I started realizing that cats saw us a certain way, you know what I mean? And it wasn't negative, you know what I mean? But you know, and that was that. But now here it is, I moved to Augusta, Georgia in my later years, you know what I'm saying? So about 6-7 years ago, when I was just moving down here, my man, you know what I'm saying, at the time brought me down to Atlanta with him to this club. And we go to this club, and it's amazing in Atlanta. Like, wow, this is amazing. Wow, this is a dope club. The dude that's really like, yo, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I'm introduce my man so-and-so. So the dude so-and-so comes up. Hey, yo, I'm notoriously bad with faces and names. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not good with it, right? You know what I mean? But somehow or another, I was like, yo, son, let me ask you a question. I said, yo, he's like, yo, you know, you did a show with me once before. You know, he's like, yo, you performed that a show I threw. I was like, yo, was it in Virginia? He was like, yeah. I said, yo, there was a dude in a wheelchair. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, yo, what? He was like, yeah. I said, what happened to dude? Y'all never forgot. I don't know why I never could forget that show. What happened? He said, yo, he passed away. You know what I'm saying? But it was just crazy that, you know, how that, you know, you could be remembered that way. And the things the things that you just, like, it's ill because of the adventures that I had as a rapper, man. The things that I remember are trippy. Whereas at the same time, when like just today, somebody hit me up and he was telling me a story about how I was in Houston, Texas, and I signed and autographed one of my singles that I had put out for myself independently. And I was like, I don't even remember being in Houston, much less what? What is this? When did this happen? You know what I'm saying? And but that's it. Even more ill is how people remember you. So what you remember is ill, but how people remember you, and when they tell you stories of stuff that you did,
that's even
and
greater.
You're like, yo, that sounds like something I did. You know? It's amazing, man.
So now let's segue a bit from the beginning.
Yes.
Or let's just say from the Kool Kim to the New York original international lover.
Well, okay. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting you put it that way because, you know, that's not the same as NYOil.
Okay.
You dig? New York's original international lover was my internet tag name when I first got on the internet.
Okay.
So, it's actually my boy, man. He used to call himself Soil, which was Shallon's original international lover. You know, he just made it up for fun. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna take that and use that as my internet handle, but I'm gonna go with NYOil.
Okay.
And so, you know, what I would be is mad obnoxious. And type my name in all caps. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People couldn't stand. That was back when that meant something. Like if your name was all in caps, it was like you were violating everybody. Yeah. So people would be like, yo, I was like the original troll, but I was fly with it though, because I wasn't a jerk. I just was like, yo, I wasn't fake. Like I would just be on there like, nah, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And it was a swinger community, to put it bluntly. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was like Cash was doing a thing, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, it was what it was. Like, you know, people was just discovering the internet, and so it was allowing people to experiment with stuff that maybe they couldn't got off in their everyday living. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
And they started calling me NYOil for short. like as a nickname, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And that's how NYOil, the name, comes
Came
about.
about.
So
Okay.
it's bug because knowing who you're really talking about, that is an ill place for that to start. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
understand what you're saying. I
You know what I
understand
mean?
what you're saying. So, how was that though? Being NYOil, the artist.
Well, you know, it's you know, I don't want to, you know, sometimes, you know, you catch me in the right mood. I'll be like, you know, it was just like, man, you know, it was the worst thing that ever, you know, and then sometimes I'll be like, you know, very reverent of the situation. I think that I finally kind of got to a point where it is what it was and was what it is.
Right.
And what that is that it was a very amazing adventure because you know, when I did the song "Y'all Should All Get Lynched," was with the song that kind of
Right.
got me in front of everybody's face,
Right.
and became this cult classic that so many people, you know, I end up, you know, it put me in contact with a lot of people, you know, kind of, you know, 6 degrees of separation sort of thing, like. You know, like Stevie Wonder was cheering me on, type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying, on the humble.
Dope.
You know,
Right. Right.
but Jesse Jackson was plotting against me. But Al Sharpton, that became my man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I became, you know, but was the thing about it was, and it really informs some of my discussions, you know, on my podcast, Build Sessions, which is the lack of, you know, that conscious movement was, and to an extent is about some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what it is that the community lacks the maturity of purpose to understand how to manage its resources effectively. So, for example, you know, your brother's got a podcast. How long has this been going? Because this is a dope format like this.
Well, actually, we started this particular format this year, but I've been doing this for about 2 years now.
Right on. So, you know,
and thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah. So, I was going to use StreamYard. I wasn't sure how to, you know, whether it would be, you know, the look for me. But this is dope, man. I really think this is cool. I'm gonna have to use this. I'm sorry, fellas.
Yeah, no, do your thing. Do your thing. That's what we're here for. We put people on, bro.
You know, I hate people. You know it is though. I stay doing stuff, and then people be seeing what I'm doing, and then they go do it themselves. I be tight, like, yo, come on, man, give me some props at least. Like, let somebody know that you got it from me, so they can help me out too. Damn, baby. But you know, but what it is the reason why I make that, you know, I ask that is because, you know, what I had no point of reference as to how long this podcast was, how successful it is not, you know, its reach or anything like that. And but you know, I'm with it. What's up? Like, you know, because I see the play. I know what route you're running, so I know where to throw the ball. Right, I know what I'm expected to do. You know what I'm saying? Right, like, you know, you reach out to me. I had a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to figure some things out, so I can't be too, you know, talkative when we chatting it up. But I was ready. Like, you see, you know, I got my stuff together. I'm ready to rock and roll.
And we having a good time. And we
vibing. Ambiance going. I got,
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I even shaved this morning. What you talking about? Forget about it. You know what I'm saying? And but I'm not trying to toot my own horn. What I'm saying is that what the conscious movement lacked is the ability to, you know, to cooperate without consolidation, the ability to recognize what side their bread is buttered on, support the people that are championing them first. You know, none of what we call in wokeness and consciousness right now, hip hop existed before I did Y'all Should All Get Lynched at the extent that it exists now. It was a strong lull. You know, wasn't nobody talking about nothing. The most you had was dead prayers, and even in that, it wasn't a conscious movement around them. They just had a nice fan base built around their revolutionary build. And I'm not taking nothing away from them brothers because they was doing it and they sold considerably more records than me. But when I came with Y'all Should All Get Lynched, it was so audacious, and it marked that first real viral. That was one of the first viral songs. It was me and Soulja Boy. You understand? So, and I was the first person to get banned on YouTube. You understand? Like that shit still plagues me now. Yeah, I mean, like I had that band and the that's why you don't see me going by that no more, because I was catching so much heat from it. And on the other side of it, like, so here it is, you talking that talk for your people, you standing up to the powers that be, you speaking truth to power. But and power just not gonna let you speak truth to it, family. Like power not have, like, you ain't gonna just get up in power face and be like, "What up, power? What?"
Right.
And power just gonna be there like, "Oh, word, no, you good, you good."
That's why it's power. That's why it's power.
Like, what? Oh, word, you stepping up? All right, let me show you what I could do. And power started showing me like, "Yo, let me show you what I could do. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do that to you." And all the while, you there like, "All right, well, that's all right, because I got my people. They got my back." And you turn around and your people just nowhere to be found.
Wow.
Your people they're not even doing stuff to help you do what you're doing. Like, so they're not even inviting you to come do the show. They're not doing anything. They're not buying a little this and that. They're not even, when they talking about the cast that's doing the work, and I was really doing the work. Like I wasn't just rapping. Like I had a youth mentoring program called PEMG. Me and my wife were doing an event called Blackbird Fly for young ladies ages 10 to 21. Every year it was a ball and a workshop. It was amazing. It's on all of this stuff I'm talking about is on YouTube. Like, anytime you pull up NYOil and any of these names I reference, you can see for your eyes, like, it's not just talk, or like, I can't be talking about the stuff they did, but it's like, well, let me see it. Like, you ain't had no video camera with you. Now we had all, like, you would see everything. I did real work. We had track team. We did so much work. No one would ever show me love. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the people respected me.
Right.
But the conscious movement, nah, they wasn't really, because you know what it was too, and it may be partially my fault. I'm no nonsense, man. Like, I'm about a lot of jokes and having a good time, because all fun and no play make Jack a dull boy. You heard?
Indeed.
But thing is though, as it relates to my people and integrity and character, I'm about no jokes, family. Like, that's where the buck stops. I'm not having that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be in my presence, to put it bluntly, bullshit. And I'm not having it, man. Like, I'm not about that, man. I don't play that. And so, and we on this having this conversation now. Y'all start talking crazy, yo. We gonna have some words, kid, because I'm not, and I ain't talking about like you talking crazy to me. I'm talking about you start talking crazy, like you start talking stupidity, like, yo, son, that you talking stuff that's cancerous for my community. I can't have that, son. You understand? And so, because I was no holds bar about that. Like, there was no, I don't care how cool we are. I don't care, you trying to run a little scams and again, I know what you're trying to do. And then, nah, son, I'm not with none of that. I'm not with none of that, and I think that, at that time, a lot of people, when I came was also the rise of the conscious scammer. You know what I'm saying?
Fake wokes.
Yeah, them cats.
So that's when you get the Sarah Suit and Setties and the Brother Polites and the Young Pharaohs and Young Pharaoh will come after the fact, but even what's son the Mac Lessons dude, the pimp dude that he branded himself now like he the woke master or something like that. What's son's name? Not Tariq Nasheed. And then even in recent times, what's son name? The pandemic prince. What do you call it? The dude, Dr. Umar.
Okay.
You get these types.
Sean King type dude.
They run around and they it's just not cipher like what they doing, man. Like, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? It's not real. And I know that maybe some people might hear it and be like, nah, but I like that guy Umar, because he be that's the hustle, is that they're gonna say stuff that you agree with. They're gonna say stuff that feel right. They're gonna say stuff that taps into your pride and your lack thereof and your insecurities and make you feel better about yourself. And they're gonna drop a couple of bills. Like they're gonna say something because that's part of the scam. Just like 3-card Monty. You got to know how to move them shells around like to get it popping.
Yep.
So it ain't like you can't do it. Ain't like you're not really doing magic to do magic, right? You're not a magician. You're not a wizard, but you can still do magic. It's sleight of hand. It's misdirection. And so all that shit they talk is sleight of hand and misdirection. And so like, and I don't want to. I'm not gonna talk about this much longer because I'm not trying to be on here violating nobody or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, like, look at a Dr. Umar, for example, because you will know a tree by the fruit that it bears, right?
Indeed.
So check this out. Let me give you some, because see, what I had done at one point is NYOil. I got kind of sick of that whole movement because I had went to this speaking engagement one time, and we was in Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, and it was a bunch of talk. And what was happening was I was noticing that people was giving these speeches during this this roundtable discussion. And I'll make a long story short, what they was doing was them we call them joints applause lines. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because brother, we got to stand up.
Right.
We're gonna fall down.
Right.
Like all that old bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like what was going on in Newark. Who my wife is from Newark. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's a rough city, son. Like, they need real answers, son. Like, they need real practical answers. Like, this is something that you can do that will change this. Like, if you guys do this tomorrow, that can help. Yo, if you go down to City Hall and look about this, or you go down to this, like, they needed those kind of answers, not a bunch of applause lines, right?
A scene from Black Dynamite.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I got sick of it. I was like, yo, so I stopped doing that stuff. And what I did was I went silent and I went about the actual business of doing the work, living out the stuff that I was promoting. So if we talking about Black-owned business, I owned a bar and a boutique here in Augusta. So I know what owning a Black-owned business is like. I know what the challenges are like. So if somebody wants to talk to me about Black-owned businesses and what it takes and what to expect, I can have a real conversation with them about that. When people talk about gentrification,
I'm sorry. B Love from JVC Force, he told me about your bar.
Nah, did he?
Yeah. We had a conversation today, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
He knew about my bar?
He told me the first time he touched base with you. Yeah, he told me about your bar.
From the JVC Force?
B Love.
Nah, really? Like, yo, like I said, I'm like, I already told y'all I'm bad with faces and names.
Indeed.
Son, I didn't even.
And he was like, he hasn't gotten up with you in a minute. He hasn't gotten up with you in a minute, but he's watching the show tonight, so don't expect a call.
Hey, my apologies, fam. I'm so sorry. I'm like I said, I'm so bad with that. But because I'm a fan of JVC Force.
He was the second person on the show this season.
Yep.
What? Well,
yeah, man.
That brother, man. Wow. But let me just get back to this point.
Yeah, my bad.
Because I said something. Now I don't want to leave it open ended for somebody that might be a fan of like Dr. Umar and not understand why I criticized him. So I'm saying I did that with opening my own businesses. You want to talk about gentrification? I came down to Augusta, bought a property for $8,000. Went online on Facebook and showed people a process of me learning all of the different trades, man, from plumbing, electrical, woodworking. Only thing I haven't taught myself is HVAC. You know what I'm saying? Only because I haven't had to do it yet. You know what I'm saying? But beyond that, I taught myself all these trades, man. I built my house, man, and even added on another like 100, 200 square feet on however many it was like, I added mad space onto it. Even
and you just built a studio.
Yeah, this where I'm sitting in right now was actually a shed that I converted into my man space, my man cave and studio.
Wow.
And created
I was watching the videos of you doing it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That was a really cool process, man.
Thanks, man. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, and where I'm going with all of this is, again, I'm not bragging about this. What I'm trying to explain is that my earnest effort to be able to provide actual practical, applicable
results,
information to people, my earnest effort to do that led me to do these things over these years, right?
Gotcha.
Now, when you look at someone like Dr. Umar, who's raised $1 billion to build a school, fam, he could have bought any number of, he could have bought a 30 by 40 shed. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause they sell them joints. Like, he might have paid like $10,000 for it. He could have had the community come through, help them subdivide it into 2 or 3 rooms, drywall, insulation, drywall, everything that I did to this space right now. You heard? This thing is I don't even have no heat on right now. It's nice and toasty, warm in this piece. You heard? He could have had that space. This process might have cost him it's all said and done at its maximum without having to pay any like monthly bills aside from utilities. It would have cost him about $15,000 at the most. You heard? At the most. All right. And that's highballing it, if you ask me. All right.
Right.
He could have did that at that amount. He could have did it what he could have did. He could have provided that deliverable. He could have had a space that had at least 3 classrooms in there. And he could have developed a success model where it's like, yo, all right, we got 3 classrooms. This is going to be our success model to show how we're going to do this. We're going to show how we can educate these young people in this curriculum that I've developed. We're going to show how this can work. We're going to start working on what the back end, what that's going to look like, what it's going to look like administrative wise. We're going to do all of these things. This is what we're going to do to show that we're capable. And then we're going to provide this deliverable to everybody that's watching. Everybody can see that what we said is doable, we're going to show a practically applied example of what it is that we said we were going to do. You know what I mean? And then we're going to go after the real fundraising, because at that point we would have inspired so many people to invest in what we're doing now. It makes sense. But most important, we will show our people that we're serious about what it is that we said we were going to do. And that is lacking. And, and that's where I end up falling out with, that conscious movement, because I'm going to say something like that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is anything that I said not actual fact? Like, is that not true? Like, is that not something that could, like, that doesn't make sense? You know what I mean? Like, is that a bad thing to point out? Is that true? Is that something that we shouldn't expect from our people that want to be in leadership positions, accountability? We're not trying to get, we ain't trying to get hotep politicians. We trying to get brothers and sisters that are Black liberation minded and willing to do the sincere work to change the conditions of our community. If we're not holding them to a standard and then having expectations of deliverables, not just a bunch of rhetoric, but actual deliverable, results, man, like, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Then we might as well be at church. You know what I'm saying? That, like, they already got mega churches. The churches got they hustle down pat, because the church, I got a church around the corner from my house, fam. Yo, they buying real estate. How the church buying real estate? You know what I mean? Like, the church is buying real estate. Like, that's how, like, that's the hustle of Black leadership is so nefarious, fam, that it's scary. And, I really believe, I don't know if I can want to say I really believe, but sometimes it feels like these people are put in place to do this. Like, they put in a, you know what I'm saying? Like, as NYOil, the stuff that I was doing, which was practical, real things, fam, yo, I felt the weight of the power structure on me. Like, I felt it.
No,
like,
I hear you. I hear you.
You understand? But meanwhile, I look at these dudes, they run around with impunity, just talking crazy. Like, and they like me, to this day, nothing I do really goes viral. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's like I got like that shadow banning. And so I have to work extra hard for people to catch my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. These cats say anything, 5 million posts, like 5 million likes. You know what I'm saying? And what it is I truly believe that some of these cats is being allowed to say this shit because they know that, the powers that be know that these dudes is never going to be fruitful.
That's a strong point, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. we definitely appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, man.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I gotta have you back on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll talk your ear off, yo. You know what I'm saying? You don't got me rap. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm ready to go now. Like, I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah. Come on back.
But fellas, man, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I really do. You know what I'm saying?
And tell the people about your show so they can tune in and check you out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man. So check it out, man. I got a dope podcast. It's called Build Sessions. It's basically, intelligent hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying? Meaning to say that, from an adult contemporary perspective, man, we talking about, what's going on in this world from pretty much all angles, everything that's happening, not just the current events, but, interpersonal situations, relationships, social, issues, racial issues, all of that, economics, We're going to be doing a lot of talk about these stimulus checks and how to navigate that, I definitely like to come back on when that stuff starts happening because I have pointed information as to how to take advantage of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we need to know that, especially artists and creators need to know how to do that. But we're discussing real things again from a contemporary, adult contemporary, urban hip hop paradigm. And again, it's called Build Sessions. You could check it, Build Session Podcast, which is available on Spotify, all them places that you would listen to a podcast. And if you want to check in and vibe with me when I'm doing it, I'm usually doing it on Instagram Live or on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, check my Facebook group. It's called Build Sessions Podcast. So it's pretty straightforward. And on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I'm Kool Kim with K's _ NYOil. So KOOLKIM _ NYOil. So I really look forward to y'all, coming through. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to say to y'all is that I also I'm gonna put this on y'all. Dr. Ron Daniels, who was somebody that gave me some knowledge as I became the ambassador of hip hop for the Institute of the Black World, right? He used to say that he used to float this idea called, he said, like, it's cooperation without consolidation. That brothers can cooperate without having to be shunned by one or the other. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we can cooperate, as brothers, man. Y'all doing what y'all doing, and I come on and show love, and y'all, you know what I'm saying, and y'all give me the opportunity to big up my thing, and that's cooperation. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And
yes, indeed.
Y'all can do the same. So what I want to say is, man, let's continue to cooperate. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And
right on.
So we can build up our audiences together. We can, we may be able to do things in leaps and bounds together that we hadn't even considered without one another. You know what I'm saying? So in that spirit, man, I hope that we're able to cooperate without consolidation, and when the time comes to consolidate, our cooperation will make us fit for that sort of situation as well. You heard?
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Kool Kim, NYOil in the building.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
Oh, it's the holidays. You got to get that brand new Sesame Street lovable elbow. Only $1.99. Trust me, it gets better the longer you look at it.
Yeah, y'all.
I wish I would have did a voiceover for that.
Next time, man. Next time.
I got the perfect voice for elbow.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was a great show. There was a lot going on, a lot happening. Big shouts to Marc Berman. Big shouts to Kool Kim. You know what I mean? This is why you tune in. This is why you tune in. Because the candidness happens. It goes down right here. And on that note, we will holler at you guys next week.
Yes.
Same bad channel.
Much love, y'all.
Hey, all of that. Hey, man.
On Twitch later on tonight, the Black Lebowski 7.
Yeah, do that. I'm going to just be on 2K and playing my career because I'm selfish. See y'all next week.
Peace.
You want to talk sports. You want to talk basketball, football, baseball, wrestling, UFC, boxing. You want to talk sports. You want to talk music. You want to talk hip-hop. Real hip-hop. Classic hip-hop. The history and the culture of hip-hop. And you want to talk candidly. You want to hear the real. You want us to keep it 100. You are in the right place. Welcome to the Candid Quote. Starring your man Coach Bar and your man Mr. Willis. Bringing it to you real, bringing it to you right. Sit back, strap in, comment, get busy, baby. It's the Candid Quote.